This is my personal opinion. If you hate the U.S. so much, why are you in the U.S.?
Because this is native land.
Why the U.S. in the Middle East? Why the U.S. in the Middle East?
What?
Why the U.S. in the Middle East? Why you went to Iraq?
Why don't you get it back on your
Why you went to Iraq?
Go back to Europe.
Why you went to Afghanistan?
Confused.
It's all Israel first. Only all praise go on into Yahweh by Shemel Shai by Shem Kakadash. The one to see Apostle Oswald Millstone. Peace, citation, one third of Israel. And for this lesson, I'm on the rails, as you can see. And this right here is funny because this man Esau is, like he's being revealed for who he is. His wickedness is being revealed, and people are starting to like despise this nigga. There's a point in time where Esau, he was just, man, this man is so pure. Everyone wanted to be everyone wanted to be like him. Things were look like this nigga. He was just this holy person, but now everyone's starting to see who this nigga really is. And he said, why are you in Iraq? Why are you in the Middle East? And that's scriptural, all right? Because Esau, he's the biggest hypocrite. He gonna call Jake, right? He gonna call so-called Latinos, immigrants, aliens, this, that, and third, but yet, he was the original alien. He came over here, raped, robbed, and murdered, and he's justified in doing it. But yet when Jake, is in their land, which our true homeland is Israel, but them niggas came into our land, like let me get scriptures, all right? What's up? I believe Psalm 55. If I'm not mistaken. Psalms 55. No, that's not that. It's a different one. I believe it's 49. But what's this? There's this one. I'll also get this one first. Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." All right. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death." This man, wherever this man goes, something's dying. Like for example, when Cristobal Colon, when he came to Americas, they said he couldn't put his sword down for 1 hour. That was what's that? Manifest Destiny, where they basically said they thought it was the Lord's will. It was their calling to spread democracy, if I'm not mistaken, over here, to take over. And let's look up the word. Let's look it up. Manifest Destiny. Manifest Destiny was an imperialist belief in the 19th century United States that American settlers were destined to expand westward across North America. All right. So that was a little later than what I was saying. And shit, look what they did. What are the 3 big events? Yep. Okay, yeah. So this is later, than what I'm talking about. But Esau is as death. He enlargeth his desire as hell. So from the 13 colonies, in the beginning, now all the way down to California, and who was dwelling in the regions over here, Northern Kingdom. You had Gad, Reuben. I believe Reuben. You had Reuben more in like I believe it's like Florida area, southern region, if I'm not mistaken. But Jake scattered abroad. Gad, Issachar, you know, and all the way to Canada. Them niggas they didn't rape, rob, and murder and did all this pillaging, but yet they have the thing. Oh, well, if you don't like it here, why are you here? You know, and they say, and the thing is, they say it to Jake too. You know, Southern Kingdom wasn't brought here on slave ships unwillingly. You know, so but that's all the pride of Esau. You know, he speaketh loftily concerning oppression. Like, just because nothing has happened yet to this damn devil, you know, they speak proud, you know. And there's a scripture on there, I believe it's Psalm 78, you know. But I'm gonna read this. It says, "Who enlargeth the desire is hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." And what is Babylon? You know, it's a great melting pot, you know, of all different nations. You know, it says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long?" All right, did Esau not steal this land? This is not his. You know, everything Esau has acquired, he got it by deceit, rape, robbery, and murder. You know, and there's a punishment for that. You know, and even in the law it says, "He that stealeth a man, you know, he shall surely be put to death." You know, and are we not found in this man's hands till today? So what do you think the Lord got coming to this nigga? A straight judgment. You know. It says, "And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." You know, you look at that word clay, you know, let me just get it. Habakkuk 2 talks about debt. Hold on, let me read this in NLT. Habakkuk 2 and 4 NLT, it says, "Look at the proud, they trust in themselves, and their lives are crooked. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to the Most High. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as the grave, and like death, they are never satisfied. In their greed they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. But soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, What sorrow awaits you, thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You become rich by extortion, but how much longer can this go?" You know, damn, that's fire. So suddenly your debtors will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have, while you stand trembling and helpless. All right, because you have plundered many nations, now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murder throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. Woe! What sorrow awaits you who build big houses with money gained dishonestly. You believe your wealth will buy you security, putting your family's nest beyond the reach of danger. But by the murders you committed, you have shamed your name and forfeited your lives. Damn. The very stones and the walls cry out against you, and the beams and the ceilings echo the complaint. What sorrow awaits you who build cities with money gained through murder and corruption. And this is not Esau. Esau Edom, so-called white man. This is him. Well, NLT or the KJV 12 verse. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. How was the USA founded? Through rape, rob, and murder. There's no other answer than that. You know, they try to, liberty, this, and, all these fucking bullshit ass words. Like, no, this is how it was found. So best believe, you talking about justice and, well, you talk about justice. Well, justice is coming for us, You touch the apple of the Lord's eye. So you Edomites got a cake bake waiting for you by the Lord, Damn, it's fire. But yeah, I'll stop it there. But let me go to the thick clay, since I was talking about it. Thick clay going into debt. All right, thick clay. It says heavy debts, and you look at the let's look that up. There's a fucking debt clock, bro. This motherfucker is accumulating as we speak. Look at all this shit. If I'm not mistaken, this is 37 trillion. Yeah. So, scripture is speaking loud and clear. All right, but let me go to oh yeah, it's 49. All right, Psalms 49 and 11. I think this might be it. Psalms 49 and 11, it says, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. And, these Edomites, they proud as hell. They think America can't be touched. Look at Donald Trump, He's proud as hell, Now they call the Department of Justice or the Department of Defense, the Department of War, something like that. So, hey, they think that just because they have a few some ammunition, they think that they're gonna come out on the other side of the war, because these devils speak of a war, but they don't speak about the Lord returning, to establish His reign. They think that they're gonna be the next rulers, or even these other nations, who's gonna be the next big superpower. Bro, the next big superpower is gonna be Yahweh Shai and the elect. Lord willing, we be joint heirs with the Lord. Lord willing, be part of the elect. We got next, bro. It says, in their dwelling places to all generations, they call their lands after their own names. All right. So, I think I'm trying to remember if it's this one or just a different one. Might be a different one. Let me see if it's Psalms 51. No, it's not Psalms 51. All right. But let me go to all right. This is Genesis 4 and 10. All right. After Cain slew Abel. I'll start at 9. It says, and the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. All right, and Esau it's basically Cain coming back in the regeneration. If you have ears to hear, let him hear. All right, because yes, reincarnation is biblical. All right, but let's look at the word fugitive. Fugitive, one who flees, a runaway, a fugitive from justice, an outlaw. All right, a runaway, a deserter. So basically, one who's fleeing from justice, one who committed a crime, but hasn't. He ran away to pay for what he's done. And who is that? Esau, Edom. Look at his receipts. Everything this man puts his hand to do, it's as death. He is as death. All right, and it says when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. The crops, when Esau plants, man, he don't go by land Sabbath, the nutrients aren't even in the food. That's why Esau gotta, pump it up all these different types of steroids and GMOs, this, that, and the third, because this earth is against Esau. All right. It says a fugitive and a vagabond. Let's look at that word vagabond. Vagabond. It says a wanderer, unsteady, strolling about. And Esau's land is is in Mount Petra, you know, in Edom. Why the fuck is he everywhere else? This nigga in Hawaii. Like, nigga, you do not belong there. But he's a wanderer, you know. And look at the accounts, you know, the so-called the Ish people, you know, how they got kicked out of multiple countries in Europe, you know, because these niggas was grimy as hell. So, bro, this nigga is getting exposed, right? And that's how you know we at the end times, you know. People are starting to wake up to this man's buffoonery. All right, let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2:3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." All right, and that's Esau Edom. He's being revealed as we speak. Why do you think he wants to shut this internet off? You know, why do you think he banned the apple juice emoji on TikTok? Because this nigga is getting exposed. So at this point, that's where the Revelation 12:12, you know, the devil shall come down the devil shall come down having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. You know, there's only so much hiding he can do. Where it's like, all right, he's gonna be like, man, fuck this. We just gotta get him. You know, we got plans. We gotta, we got a quota we gotta hit. You know, we gotta get this world chipped. Man, we got to get shit moving. So, man, cut the internet off. They doing too much. You know, they being, the prophets, the men of the Lord, they're going to try to come after the men of the Lord, you know. That great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, spoken about in 2 Ezra 16. All right. But it says, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, you know. And this man, he's tried to portray himself as the Most High. You know, look at the Renaissance. You know, he didn't whitewash the images. You know, and that's the deception. You know, that deception. You know, being revealed. To be revealed, a lie has to be put in place. You know, if you can't reveal the truth if there is no lie. You know, the truth is the truth, but after continuous lies, after continuous lies, the Spirit of the Lord is revealing this devil for who he is, who they really are, the true biblical name. Now Esau Edom is a term you hear more frequently. People are hip to the term now. Back then you wasn't hearing Esau or Edom. You was hearing everybody could be saved, this, that, and third, but no, all that shit is going out the window. All right, but it says, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that it's lucky, and now you know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in this time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume away with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right, even him whose coming is after this working is Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders." All right, and this is Esau Edom is Satan's counterpart on earth. That's why he moves the way he moves. It says, "And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved." Okay, yeah. So I'll just stop at the 9th verse. But yeah, so this devil's getting revealed for who he is, but that's part of a sentencing. The case has to be brought, the judgment has to go out, and then boom, that's when the books are closed. The judgment actually goes out, or the sentence gets pronounced and then the judgment goes out. There you go. And we at that time where this man, his sentencing, he's getting sentenced right now, and he's about to be judged real soon. So hopefully with that, it's edifying and well said. Slacky is all over the place, but this is all through the Spirit. So with that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh.